Hey everybody, how's it going? Glenn Fricker here from Spectre Sound, and you are watching Mad Vlad on Catpex Studios.
Well, hello there. My name is Vladimir. We are at TGU18, and today I'm joined by Patrick Hunter from the Patrick Hunter channel.
Patrick Hunter Bass channel?
Okay, yeah, Patrick Hunter Bass channel. This guy is going to teach me a few things. We'll talk about bass, and even though I might not be known as a bass player, I play bass on almost all of my tracks, and I would love to get better at it. And I have a guy who actually knows how to play bass, so
Well,
it just makes sense.
knows how to play bass.
Well, yeah, you'll have to check his channel. He knows how to play bass. Whatever he says, ignore that. In the sense like when he's evaluating himself, don't like just I'll edit that out or something. Okay.
You just put a voiceover over it?
Yeah. Like I'm like you said, yeah, I'm really good at, and then I'll add bass.
Yeah.
to everything.
I am amazing at bass.
Exactly. So what's interesting about you is that you are not strictly like either a finger picking player or playing with a pick.
Mhm.
And let's start with that. Like how did you get there, in the sense like, do you go for a certain sound when you go from one thing to another, or like is it based on the song or anything like that?
It's pretty much based on what sort of sound I'm looking for with the song, in a sense.
Mm.
If I usually go for picks mostly, just because it's one of those things where with a pick I'll always get that full just hit with it.
Yep.
But sometimes I'm able to still get that with fingers too, just. But it's all depending on what kind of riff I'm writing, or what kind of song I'm working with, or who I'm working with as well.
Sure.
Because there's been a couple songs that I've helped people out with, been bass for them, where they just prefer the sound of fingers over pick sort of thing. So it's like I can go full on neck pickup, halfway on the bridge pickup, roll down. Sort of thing, like something like super simple like that. Like I usually wouldn't do something like that with a pick, but then I could add a little more nuances to it if I do.
Sure.
Like it depends on really who I'm working with, I guess. But if it's just normally me, I usually just have a pick. But that I usually go for a pick mostly. But it's one of those things that I love about bass, is you're able to do so many different things with it, and there's a lot of different techniques of playing to get completely different sounds out of the same setup that you already have.
Yeah, that's cool. And you have a pretty nice setup going on right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's this custom shop jazz bass through this awesome ABM 600 head from Ashdown with their 410 as well.
It's really nice.
And very loud too.
This is also nice. I'll probably end up playing something. This is a Sandberg is how you pronounce it. I think it's the California model. It's nicely aged, and damn, it's a nice looking bass as well. And yeah, we have pretty things here.
You're
today.
not getting that one.
I'm not. That's Michiel, our director. He's kind of has dibs on this one already, so, and I'll let him have it.
Anytime,
Thank you.
yeah. Anytime one of us looks at it, he's like, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Yeah.
So, what kind of pick do you use for bass?
This is just like the Hosa Technology one, but I like to use usually the Dunlop 96s or the 1mm. I have about 20 picks in my pocket at any given moment. Yeah, like I have the blue 1mm right now, and the one when they're this thick, it has that great give to it, so it gives you that nice drive, but it has that tiny bit of give where it's not just like playing with a rock,
Yeah.
essentially. And so I really enjoy having that nice firm attack, but also having a tiny bit of give, so it's easier for me just like to go back. And I love I've always loved the sound of picks. It's always just fun.
Yeah, and I noticed like I'm a guitar player, and when I play bass with a pick, it's like I feel like there's always too much attack because I probably like hit it way too hard.
That's me. Like especially if I'm playing a show, you're just going just like crazy on it, and then by the time you know, it's like, oh, my strings are already dead now. Because it's just like, especially because I can be a pretty aggressive player too, just depending on whatever riff it is.
Sure.
And I realized a lot of times like I need to calm down a little bit or lower my gain just because it's that easy to clip, especially on like the low E string sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
And so there's a lot of fun in it. But I like playing pick. I like playing with fingers too. It's all what sound you're looking for, you know?
Yeah. So let's use that as what's the word?
Segue.
Segway. Poor Segway guy.
Too soon.
So, teach me a bit about playing bass with a pick because, as I said, let me grab a pick from my pocket as well, and guess what? It's a cat pick.
How convenient.
I know. It just happened to be there. So, like, this is my like style of playing with a pick, and I think there's probably something I should know. So do you like anchor your like elbow or something somewhere? Or anything?
Usually my main focus is on, I think, my forearm and where that is. So it's just like have a good nice hold, and then it's all in the attack in the wrist is what I've usually found. It's because you want to be able to control as much as possible. And it's also another like technique that I'm actually really been like starting a lot lately is using a pick but still being able to
that's cool.
slap
Yeah.
on top of it, so you can have that great attack. Where you can just still hold onto your pick and add the slap to it. That makes it more fun. But usually it's just all in the control of how you're doing it. And
by the way, I noticed. I think you pick like. Do you pick this way?
yeah,
Interesting.
usually down.
But like your pick is like most of the guitar players are taught to pick like this. To angle it like this.
This is my natural way of holding it.
Okay.
But also, I'm left-handed.
Okay.
But I learned right-handed.
Okay.
And so, and I've never really had any official, like, teachings of any kind. I've never taken lessons before. It was one of those things where I sort of taught myself. And, of course, you watch so many, like, YouTube videos growing up.
Sure.
And seeing different people play in different ways. And I think I just accumulated different styles and the different ways of playing from so many different sources. One of my favorite bass players, Ben Kinney, from Incubus, the way he plays is not aggressive at all, but he always lays back towards the bridge.
Oh.
And it is. Like he has that nice little like curve to how he plays. But then it's like, well, with that specifically, I'm not gonna be playing Lamb of God that casually.
Yeah, just I noticed that there's like a certain movement like upwards in all directions. It's kind
And that's one of the things, I guess, there's been a couple people who basically said the same things, like, I think you play different, sort of thing, where not in derogatory sense, but just like they noticed that it's, I guess, different than how most people do it. And I don't know if that's strictly because I taught myself, but it's like the wrong way of playing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's not the wrong way. If you are not putting any stress on either of your hands and like these parts of hands are kind of like relaxed.
Yeah.
Then I think it's what's the name of the syndrome you can get from, especially on your left hand, the strain carpal
tunnel.
Yeah. So unless that's happening, I think there's no wrong way to do it. So, but yeah, that's interesting. Like because again, I'm a guitarist. So it's like this all the time. so yeah, and because like even just holding a bass, it's different because it's such a bigger instrument. Like I kind of need to reposition myself completely.
And that's the thing is, a lot of people. I mean, I guess technically you can look at playing a bass like a guitar in a sense. It's just, to me at least, it's completely night and day. If I have a guitar, I play it differently. I'm not gonna have the normal way that I'm able to groove and move around.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think a lot of people really misconstrue the idea that you can just easily go from guitar to bass and play the same, where it's just
no, it's
if you
close.
I mean, at least in my opinion, if you want to be able to really like get it down and groove it right, you just adjust accordingly, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing a 4-string versus a 5-string, or a short scale versus a long scale, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I prefer 4-string basses and just going up and down the fretboard as much as possible, because that's just what's most natural and most fun to me as well.
And you also you probably like have to mute some of the stuff with your right hand, since if you're playing somewhere over here, you probably like.
Usually not.
No.
Usually also try and mute it with my fingers if I'm going up and down. So just instinctually going as I go to like the 3rd fret, try and move it across from the G string going back to try, if anything is gonna make noise, just mute it slightly. And that's also something I don't really realize, I guess I do. But it's just instinctually go for it. And the only time I really ever mute using my right hand is if I'm just doing like simple like palm mute sort of thing, where you can have that jumpy just. Like all kinds of like little fun stuff like that.
Yeah, interesting, because like the little I know about playing bass with like finger picking, like usually like I'll talk to kind of mute or use these fingers a lot to mute, which is again a great segue to playing with fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that as well, and nowadays you're I guess doing the mix of the two as well. But like, how would you say it's different from playing with a pick?
See, I have a friend Rick, and the way he plays with the fingers is identical to how I sound with a pick. The way he's able to truly like how I play it is okay, but when Rick plays it, it sounds legitimately. And it's crazy because I'm pretty sure the tips of his like 2 fingers on his right hand are made from like aluminum or something, because just the way it sounds is very just, those are not your fingers sort of sound. But I always approach it differently, at least from playing with a pick. Not in the sense of it's only if I play without a pick, it's gonna be softer and funkier. But it's just if I want the full range attack, I go for a pick. If I want it to be a little more muted, as if I would roll off a tone in a way, I would play with my fingers.
No,
it's just and they're playing with just. To me, at least, those are 2 completely different sounds.
Sure.
Especially when I'm recording a demo or something like that, I can personally tell the difference instantly. Because you can usually get more mids with the attack of a pick, but then you get the more of a fullness. And then you can also slap, I guess, too, if that's what you're into. I actually just had a video where I made fun of myself for not being able to slap, or not really being able to slap. It's just that's my weakest like aspect of playing when it comes to playing bass is slapping.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, slap bass is something like easily comes like out like a show off thing, because isn't that like, if you think about it, not so many like musical styles actually kind of need it.
Yes.
But
It's one of those little things where like you can throw in a pop
sure.
every once in a while, and you're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but
But I'm not gonna go around sort of things. Like it's one of those things where slapping is just so unnatural for me, and I'm just
Sure.
so bad at it. And it's not my focus of playing. But then like this past NAMM, I passed by the Mark Bass booth when Marcus Miller was doing one of his shows, and he just effortlessly and flawlessly is just going crazy on it. And there's a lot of players where it's just that's who they are, but then they can get a pick and play like super rough sounds.
Yeah, but
And it's really interesting to me, just the versatility that you're able to get.
yeah, we had Ida Nielsen. She played with Prince, I think, on at least his last tour, and she's like really known for the slap thing.
Oh, she's incredible.
She can play.
Oh my god.
Like, and that's her sound. That's cool. And I guess with Prince, you could actually like utilize that in many of the songs. But for what I do, which is I guess rock thing, no, not so much.
That's pretty much mine. Like
Yeah.
my understanding of it is I like making riffs sort of thing.
Sure.
And a lot of those are more aggressive rock esque sort of thing. Just sort of thing, and just I like more riffy things because especially if I get to jump across the fretboard.
Yeah.
But then players like Ida, you see her and she's slapping with so much precision,
Yeah.
and she has a giant smile on her face the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And she can sing at the same time as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
which just doesn't make any sense.
It's what in my band, we're just a 3-piece, and I play bass and do backup vocals.
Yeah, sure.
And it's one of those things where at first it was so daunting, but it's practice, and you get the muscle memory of everything where I'm able to do like different like structures and different riffs while singing a melody or singing a harmony sort of thing and not even think about it anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm getting there with guitar, especially like if there's songs where you need to play like a lead line in between and the lead line starts at like the last note of the vocals. So like I can do that with the guitar. With bass, not even close. But again, I've played guitar for 15 years at least and bass for a year.
Yeah.
I got a bass when I started doing YouTube stuff just to be able to record songs.
Just have that low end on top of it.
Exactly. So this is why I wanted to do a video with YouTube. Kind of learn, like, get into a head of one of, like, bass players who do also YouTube, because I want to learn. I want to learn. It's a super fun instrument. It's not a guitar with 4 strings and a lower tuning.
It's one of those things where it's like you say that, but everyone else there's a lot of people who are going to go, I don't think so. It kind of looks like a weird Strat with only 4 strings instead of 6.
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of people have, like, even in my band, my guitarist Jeff always has jokingly said that I play bass like a guitar. Just because I guess I usually play with a pick and with the way I attack and everything, which is like, yeah, I see it. And like, I've been told that multiple times. It's just, no.
Do you kind of double the things guitar does in your band's stuff, or?
Usually not. My main goal, especially since there's 3 of us, I want to have a full sound. So, say for a verse, Jeff will be playing one chord structure, and I'll be trying to do something completely different.
Oh.
To where they're on different spectrums, but they still mesh well. And so, where I can just add different things to it, and it's funny because Jeff, my guitar player, sings. Like, he's the lead singer and everything. But during verses where it kind of flips the role of guitar and bass, where I try to do something more so of not just the root. And that's what my approach to bass has always been. You want to get the root of the song. Of course, still be the backbone, which is bass. Like, the rhythm is the backbone of the song.
Sure.
But get your main root notes in there, but throw something else on top of it. And so one of our songs is, it goes like a simple structure. And that's just the simple going down like that, and that's pretty much what my guitarist plays. But then with the exact riff that I have for it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where I love just going up and down the fretboard ridiculously. And it's funny because whenever we record, that's when you get the final riffs in. And sometimes I'll have something that's sort of crazy like that, but if it doesn't fit for the song, all three of us will look at each other and be like, no, it's not working. To where even I recognize you still just lean more into the root, don't make it so abstract sort of thing.
Kind of another segue from that. Do you like spend time with your guitar player to kind of tune the sound so where the kind of guitar ends, the bass comes in?
Sort of. It's really weird. One of us will come up with the song first, sort of thing, and then from there we'll just jam on it, riff on it. It's funny because a lot of times we'll be crisscrossing in terms of the lead and the root sort of thing. And then we'll mix together when it comes to the chorus sort of thing, and I'll add like the little tiny variations on top of it. But it's the way we write where we're like, oh, try this out, where it's that dynamic that really adds to it. Because sometimes, especially with my regular videos that I make on YouTube, there's a lot of more blatant things, but with Pseudo Future, we're able to add the different dynamics to the full sound of it. So it's a lot of mix and match and see what works best for it.
Yeah. Do you do the same with kind of sounds, in the sense that if you want to have kind of this full spectrum, do you spend time kind of fine tuning where his guitar sound kind of ends and where your bass sound begins?
Yes, and that's just one of those things where it's what's best for the song in general, you know, and where you can look at it and even though like this sounds really cool, but it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I'm just not gonna go for it, sort of thing.
Yeah. It's interesting because like my bass sound knowledge is that I record bass DI. Like I do the track, I record like drums and some of the guitars, and the guitars have like pretty much the sound I'm going for, and then I record bass through DI, and then I just browse through Logic's presets and find the bass sound that kind of sits like underneath the guitars and kind of matches those, because I have no idea how to do that.
and that's like also the thing is I don't even know how to properly mix in the sound for it, but I really enjoy a nice bass tone that has a great low mid boost to it, where it can peek through the mix, but it's also one of those things where it doesn't need to be. It's not lead guitar. It's not supposed to be lead guitar.
Sure.
But it's where it can sit nicely in the mix, and it's one of those things, if you're getting a sound that you like, then that's what matters.
Yeah, sure. I also noticed that, like, compared to my playing, like, when you play the lower strings and you go on the higher strings, like, those sounds are kind of more balanced. Because when I play, it's like, I play something, I can actually play. And then when I go to upper string, like, there's so much more attack. I feel like it always kind of pushes through the mix, and it's way too much. So
I think it's always just it depends on like compression and things like that too. But there's always going to be. It depends on how you attack it and how you go for playing those notes, which is what I've discovered. And what's really fun about bass, at least, is there's a balance between every note that you play. So even if you're not using a compressor to try and equal out everything, you just using your hands, you're able to control that to really see, especially your right hand. And that's one of the most interesting things I've really have learned about myself since I've been playing for 13, 12 years or something like that, I guess. But really, really made myself like start, okay, like I really want to learn more about this and look into this more and teach myself more for probably like 7 years. And one of those things is there's the right hand controls so much.
Yeah.
It's with as much as your fretting hand, of course, matters.
Sure.
Just you can change your dynamics completely in different ways, and just being able to equally give each note its own volume. It's really fun in that way, but it's also it adds to the discipline that you want to have when you're playing.
Sure.
And it's been a really interesting. It's one of those things where I know I'm not like a fantastic bass player, but I'm always learning something new about it. Just because it's something I feel I'll never be able to master, but that's also the fun in it. Is like you're still always gonna be able to learn a little more.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like no matter what kind of level player you ask, they're usually super fast to name like 7,000 things they still want to learn.
Oh yeah.
No matter who it is. So.
Because there's so many different ways to play. Like Ida Nielsen and I have a completely different playing style, but watching her, it's just like, man, it's insane. And then Guy Pratt was here earlier this week, and watching him play so calm, like he's very calm demeanor, but man, he can just go crazy on it too.
Yeah, that's so cool as well. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This turned out to be like kind of getting into your mindset of playing bass. That's awesome because, again, I'm totally new at this. It's super fun to kind of hear from someone who's been doing it for much longer than I have and kind of learn. I think I'll be rewatching this video multiple times and kind of think, okay, yeah, he mentioned that thing. I need to look at that thing so much. And yeah, thanks for doing this.
Dude, thanks so much for having me, man. I appreciate it.
We are TGU18. That's Patrick Hunter. I'll put links to his channel in the description, and I'll definitely try not to drop this beautiful bass. Thanks to all the companies that made this event happen. A huge thanks to Thoman and Henning Pauli. And yeah, thanks for watching. I shall see you next time.
Dude, thanks, man.
Thank you.
What about a thank you to Switch Bitch?
Switch, bitch! Ow!
Thank you.
And to me,
Who is me?
And me?
Senor Sandberg.
Thanks for me for switching.
Good job, me. I'm proud of you.